won't second guess. Unapologetic, we're bold and we're loud, shining light on the left shady crowd. Oreo Express, rolling down the track, exposing the lies, ain't no turning back. Conservative fire, we're speaking the truth. At Oreo Express, this one's for you. So grab your boots, let's take a stand for freedom, faith, and the heart of this land. Oreo Express, let's roll, let's go. So grab your boots, let's take a stand for freedom, faith, and the heart of this land. Oreo Express.
Celebrate our newest launch, Rev 7. I'm bringing you an amazing introductory offer, plus an exclusive overstock sale that you're not going to want to miss. Rev 7 is our premium energy drink that tastes great and gives you energy all day with no jitters and no crashes. That's because there's no sugar and no caffeine. I'm so sure you're going to love Rev 7 that for a limited time you can try our 3-pack absolutely free. Or check out our Percale bed sheets. I can't believe I'm even going to say this. Every color, every style, every size, only $29.88. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to save 20% on our Rev 7 12-packs or try our introductory 3-pack absolutely free. And our Percale bed sheets, all sizes, only $29.88, even the queens and kings. Inventory is extremely limited, so order now.
That's right, folks. Order now. Welcome back to the Oreo Express. If you guys haven't checked out mypillow.com, go check it out. Great America First company. Help support us here on our platform at Oreo Express. Go over to mypillow.com and make sure you choose promo code Oreo. You'll get substantial discounts and savings, guys. Want to say thank you all for tuning in. Appreciate you. It is Wednesday, September 17th. I might sound a little different. I told you guys I thought I was trying to beat what Caden and Rachel had, and it looks like I woke up this morning with a sore throat and not feeling that great. So, man, we're going to get through this. We're going to get through this. We're going to get better quick. And took some extra vitamins this morning. Let's just say that. So we got some stuff to talk about. We got a couple hearings going on Capitol Hill today. One of them is the disgraced and CDC director and the pro jab yourself all you can without any evidence it'll work. And we also got Kash Patel in Congress. We're going to talk about that. There was some epic stuff in there. Also, Gavin Newsom, if you guys missed the Gavin Newsom grift last night. The Gavin Newsom grift. So he's promoting yes on Prop 50. We've covered Prop 50 extensively. That takes away my representation here in California. As you know, we vote about 40% Republican here in California, and we only have 17% of representation. They want to change that to make it practically nothing, where we have no Republicans elected. You've seen what California has gone to under a Democrat majority. We're going to talk about that, talk about where the money's coming from, and who's he's engaged, man. This is, I'm going to tell you, you'll laugh. It's like a Kamala Harris campaign 2.0. We're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about Trader Fanone. Trader Fanone, guys, is back out there on the streets. We'll talk about that a little and some other stuff upcoming. There's actually a bomb squad on the scene in front of the Turning Point headquarters where we will be Friday evening. And so a big shout out to old Uncle Bill. He gifted 5 subscriptions to the Oreo Express. Thank you, old Uncle Bill. And if you guys got a subscription, make sure you thank old Uncle Bill. Again, guys, we are 100% viewer funded, and without you guys, with the gifted subscriptions, the donations, the super chats, all that, we couldn't do it without you. Howdy do. How are you? Paulette, how are you doing, Paulette? Thank you for joining us. Let me go through the comments really quick and say hello to everybody. We got Trina in the house. Hello, Trina. Rob Wallace, old Uncle Bill. He says, if you didn't see the Oreo Express Late Show on Rumble Premium from last night, I recommend you watch it. Yes, we did a whole, about an hour on one of the groups that are now being investigated by the FBI for possibly having foreknowledge of the assassination of Charlie Kirk. So we kind of broke down some stuff. We learned together. So if you guys are premium members on Rumble, go over there and check that out. Nola's in the house. Mater TJ, Hunter, Pixie. Let's see who else is jumping in down here. Darla Miller, Becky Boo. Going down to the bottom. Sugar Bear, K Juice, Julius, Miss Hayes. Thank you guys once again, Kimber and everybody. Appreciate you guys tuning in. We can't do it without you all. Let me see if we had some comments over here. I think we only had one comment on that chat. We haven't had no comments on Twitch yet. So, and guys, don't forget, because of sometimes we even Rumble goes down, make sure you follow us on Kick and Twitch as well. And sometimes their notification system's even better. So, thank you guys. And not all the shows we do on all the platforms, like we're going to have a second show at 3:00 today. You might want to be on Rumble for that one. Now we're going to try to do tonight. We will be at a vigil hosted by the Turning Point chapter at Fresno State. That should start probably a little prior to 7:00. So we will be doing really three shows today. One's a live stream out in the field. So again, make sure you're subscribed on Rumble. A lot of times we have to, depending on what's going on, there's a lot of sites that censor us. So we try to do, Rumble is our number one platform. So, and we're grateful for that. All right, let's get into it now. Let's get into it. Let's see here. So I just thought that I was going to show you, there's a little tweet war going on between Ian Omar and Rep. Nancy Mace. And it's kind of funny. Let's see. Nancy Mace put this out. She says, one-way ticket to Somalia with your name on it, Ian Omar. And Ian says, I'm going soon, so please drop off the ticket on the way to your office. I am next door. Thanks in advance. And Nancy Mace says, please take your brother husband with you and stay there. Signed, the American people. I don't think too many American people would disagree with that. The far left radicals would disagree with that. But everybody else would say, hey, I think that's about right. I think that's about right. And I seen that today. I was like, I got to let the folks know about the tweet war going on. So we all know Michael Fanone, the traitor J6 cop that lied under the sham J6 committee so that he could get patriots put in prison. There was lots of lies. He was the little crybaby when he was on Capitol Hill testifying. We actually found both him and what's the other officer's name? Harry Dunn. Both lied under oath. And once we finally got a little video from inside the Capitol, we learned that they were lying. Democrats were okay with them lying. They destroyed all that J6 committee evidence so that way they could protect these folks. And then also both Harry Dunn and Michael Fanone went on the Biden campaign trail. We actually caught them in New York when Trump was going to trial. We were live streaming in New York, And them along with, who's that failed actor? Robert De Niro. Robert De Niro was down there campaigning against Trump for Biden. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. Well, Don Lemon, that's begging for views, begging to be relevant again. Looks like he's escorting Michael Fanone around to confront people. I'm not lying. You can't make this stuff up. And listen to what a fool Michael Fanone sounds like. And you'll notice some other stuff, how he's trying to meme, in a sense, I guess you could say. Take a look.
We can go toe to toe.
You guys want to kill me.
Whoa!
You guys
Listen,
want to kill me.
you say
the left.
You say
yes,
you, but I'm not a Democrat.
Yeah.
I'm not a member of the left. I voted for Donald Trump in 2016.
Mm-hmm.
Listen.
Donald Trump.
You're yelling, like you're screaming at me.
But he's
Okay.
He's upset.
Okay.
He's upset.
Oh, it's okay. He can yell at her all he wants. He's upset, but he's asking her to tone down the rhetoric.
Yeah. But he's not a violent person.
You're asking me to tone down rhetoric as you
Okay,
yell at
all right,
me.
all
I mean,
right.
come
Well,
on.
we can spend all day long, but let's talk about this now.
But I'm happy to come down after and talk. But I got to go. I have 3 votes. I got to go do.
Can I ask you something? And I don't mean it.
Can we walk
Let me
the
ask you
stairs?
something. Yes.
Yeah.
Are you consider?
We can go toe to
You guys
toe.
want to kill me.
I don't.
You guys
Listen.
want to kill me.
You say
the left.
you say
yes, you,
but I'm not a Democrat.
Yeah.
I'm not a member of the left. I voted for Donald Trump in 2016.
Mm-hmm.
Donald Trump.
You're yelling, like you're screaming at me.
But he's
Okay.
He's upset.
Okay.
He's upset. Yeah.
I feel bad. I mean, really, Don Lemon and Michael Fanone are pretty much on the same level. Irrelevant. Michael Fanone is, and I'm not going to put any money in the cuss jar. Michael Fanone is just absolute trash. He was a traitor. Lied about a lot that happened on January 6th. And I just thought it was absolutely hilarious that he goes yelling at Nancy Mace to tone down the rhetoric. And he's like, and it was just funny. And then he's making his other rounds too. I guess he was on MSNBC, and listen to this. I just love this. Remember when Trump won, this guy ran with alcohol up to the mountains and said, and again, I don't remember the entire tweet. We covered it, but that he was, he had his gun with him, and nobody better mess around. I don't know what it was, but I mean, literally, this guy shouldn't be able to show his face in public. This guy should be shamed out of everything. I don't care if it's an Uber. He's a traitor. Take a listen.
I mean, I'm disgusted. I'm disgusted that, we as Americans reelected this president who has been so divisive and so destructive within our community, who, in the aftermath of yet another tragic act of political violence in the murdering of Charlie Kirk, uses that moment not to, unite the country, but to sow more seeds of division and, again, advocate for violence against his political opponents.
Now, I'm going to stop that right there. We've played everything that Trump has said since the shooting. Usually before the shooting, we cover a lot of Trump. When did he sow division? When did he encourage political violence? The reason why the left is trying to do this, this is disgusting. You would use Charlie Kirk's assassination, somebody that you would call a Nazi, because you were part of that rhetoric that got him killed. And then you would try to turn this around on Trump. Trump called for what the actual violence is in this country. We've been told for, I don't know, what's it been, 10 years, 12 years? That the number one threat to America was white supremacy. And we've been all over the country. I think we've been to 30 or 31 states in the last 6 years. Not once could we find white supremacists, the KKK. I have seen videos of people dressed as Nazis, so they might be actual Nazis, but we've never caught them. It's usually political theater, so MSNBC, CNN, and ABC will have a news hit. But we've been to all these events. Where have they been? Oh, they didn't exist. Again, it was a fabrication of part of the agenda. And Trump calls out the left, the violence, the rhetoric, the people celebrating online, the trans malicious cult that is encouraging and doing most of the violence. I mean, if you look at it, how many shootings have we covered? And we try to cover a lot. If it's breaking news, we try to cover it on the show. But Trump saying that he's going to go after organizations that fund this radical violence. Well, I think Michael Fanone's a little worried because he gets some of his moolah from those organizations.
It struck me in the aftermath of this that very few Republicans, I think Tom Tillis today had a very poignant statement, and the governor of Utah, in trying to unite the country, joined every other Democrat that I've seen, have a microphone put in front of their face, calling for, a toning down of this rhetoric.
Democrats are calling for a toning down. Have they said, listen, we don't need to be celebrating the death of a political figure online? No, they're complaining about cancel culture now. The party of cancel culture is now saying this teacher, that works with 7 and 8 year olds shouldn't lose her job because she's celebrating the assassination of an American citizen. Think about that for a minute, folks. Just think about that. Oh man. I was lucky. I'm going to show you a video for those of you maybe new or maybe didn't get to see it. It went viral, but I always try to pray before I go out, calmness, because the old me would just knock the what out of somebody. Just you're a traitor, blah blah blah. And when I ran into Michael Fanone, it was epic, and I'll show you that video here in a second. Let me finish this off and let this lying traitor get his last 28 seconds.
But again, it's screaming into the void when you have Donald Trump, when you have Pam Bondi, when you have Kash Patel, all of these other officials who are pointing the finger, creating this, the enemy from within. And doing everything that they can do to, drive this country further, further down the hole of division.
The whole of division, and it's been going on for a while. But the race wars came back under Obama. It was a created blacks. You are oppressed. It's the white man oppressing you. You guys, what was it? What was it that time when Obama stuck his foot in his mouth? Was it the beer summit? Let me see if I can find that really quick. I think it was a beer summit. The things that he had to do. There it is. Henry Louis Gates versus a white cop. No evidence of racism, just a heated arrest. Obama declares police acted stupidly, turning a local spat into a national race incident. Cop was just doing his job. Poor cop. Then he invites him to the White House for a beer summit. How about this? We'll show you.
Murdered an unarmed veteran.
So take a look at this. This was Michael Fanone in New York.
Fanone the traitor right here, guys. You know who lost their life was Ashley Babbitt. She was murdered, an unarmed veteran. An unarmed veteran. Don't start trying on me, Fanone. Don't start trying on me now. Absolute sellout. Absolute sellout.
You're done. I'll do this.
Traitor to your country.
Man, those words still ring true today. Those words still ring true today. Okay, so now that we're all clear in Phoenix, cool deal. All clear at the Turning Point headquarters. So thank you, Pixie. So yesterday there was a grifting session from Democrats, particularly Gavin Newsom. We're going to show you a little bit of that. But what he is doing is he went on created a live stream, and it was a Yes on 50 voter registration day rally. And this was one of his tweets that he put out. And it says, live now, tune in to hear about what's at stake for our country and how we can keep our democracy intact. They love that democracy intact words. When it, think about it, they're the party that don't follow the Democratic process. And we are a constitutional republic, but they want people to believe we're a majority rule. And so what that is if you can get enough people to believe you're a majority rule and they're on the losing side of an issue, that will create violence, that will create riots, because, oh my God, the Supreme Court ruled against us, but we said we wanted this. And so I love some of the tweets. They pulled in the white dudes from Harris even. Take a listen to this. This is hilarious. Take a look.
Sure that Democrats have the right type of representation in DC is a sure pathway to make sure that we actually get the transparency that Americans deserve.
Transparency that Americans deserve. Matt, what kind of transparency did you get under Biden? I'm just honestly asking you. The guy that hid in his basement. Only questions he would take were the ones written down on a piece of paper. And Democrats lied to you. The big lie of the century, saying he was perfectly healthy until he goes and debates Trump. Can't even walk off the stage without the help of his wife. And people are like, I think we're caught. I think we're caught. Time to pull a coup. How about this one? This one says Gavin Newsom has joined forces with white dudes for Harris to manage his election rigging campaign.
We can recognize the moment we're in, and we can meet that moment, and we can push back, and we do it with some muscularity. We did this in response to what Donald Trump has done, and we've done it, in closing, Brian, in the most democratic way. And I would say that to those still on the fence. That's the difference between us and them. We're not only using our formal authority, our ability to fight fire with fire and redistrict, but we're using our moral authority in this respect. It's temporary, it's transparent, and it's democratic, meaning we're putting in front of the voters. This is the first maps in the United States that will actually be submitted to the people themselves. The maps will be on the ballot, and it's a temporary response to this emergency, this crisis of the rigging of the midterms. And we need to win this at peril that we'll lose this republic, we'll lose this democracy.
He said republic there. Well, which is it? Is it a republic or a democracy? So what's interesting here, again, as a Californian, what he wants to do is take representation away from us. As I said at the beginning of the show, about 40% of Californians who voted for President Trump. I know people think, wow, that's a lot. It really is. It really is. The amount of people in California that voted for Trump totals multiple states combined. We're such a large state. And again, it's part of our problem. There's no way with just the representation we have that, one, with a state this large, we get fair representation. Two, that one state can be governed by a single person. But they want to essentially say, hey, Josh, you have your voice don't matter. And we're doing this is because of what Trump did. And I'm like, what did Trump do? Trump can't change anything. Not when it comes to states. If Trump could do something, then why doesn't he just stop you in taking away representation from people that voted for him? And they say, oh, this is temporary. So if you guys don't understand, we actually have, and it's not independent, but we actually voted and said how we want our elections to go and that we wanted an independent agency, a redistricting agency, to be in charge of our, the maps, the layout of those maps. And so it's interesting because exactly what Gavin Newsom is doing is the opposite of the will of the voters. How about this? There's this video from yesterday, and I didn't watch a whole lot of it. I went back and forth, but in his attempt to rig the elections here in California, he appeared very agitated, touching his nose, eyes, shifting, doing his little Newsom dance. Take a look at this.
Hey, everybody. I'm Brian Tyler Cohen. Thank you so much for tuning into our Yes on 50 voter registration day rally. We've got an amazing guest list today. We're joined by some of the biggest fighters on the left who are meeting this moment with the urgency that it deserves. And of course, I'm joined now by Governor Gavin Newsom. Before we get into a little bit of our back and forth, just want to let folks who are watching know that we are hosting this rally because of what's happening right now. And what's happening right now is existential, not just for the left, but for democracy. Yeah. We have watched as Trump has issued his clarion call to Texas for 5 seats and how they responded. We've watched as he did the same thing in Missouri and how they responded. We're going to see the same thing in Indiana and then Florida. And
what is wrong with this guy? I'm telling you, man, this guy, I think personally, I think he'd be good buddies with Zelensky. I don't know about you, but I think there's a whole lot of blow going on in that Newsom mansion. Insane. So Gavin kept tweeting out the goals and how much money they had raised and where the money was coming from. And I have a problem with this in every election. If you take a look at this, he shared this map. And if you look at all that money coming, look at how it's all blue right here. So all these people outside of California are funding election rigging against people like me. They don't want me to have a voice. And I think, and I'm just going to say that I've said this before. A good example was Devin Nunes used to be my representative. California 22nd district. I think it was 22nd. They've changed district. We've redistricted since then. And I remember he would be fighting people, and it was one of the highly contested seats in the country. And even Devin Nunes was getting a lot of his money from big money. He was getting it from all over the country. And so was his opponent. I would love to have a law where, guess what? If you're outside of the district, you can't put money in for somebody. And why should I be able to go in your neighborhood, drop thousands of dollars, drop tens of thousands of dollars more in a political action committee there that's going to promote you? And I have no skin in the game. Those people in the Northeast, look at all these people. Look at all those people. I'm going to see if I can zoom in a little, put it in the middle of the screen. Look at all this right here. All this. That's all. We know what those are, Maine and all those other places up there. So it says this was he was doing a countdown of how much they raised, and I think look at they even had Pocahontas on there. Pocahontas, that's a real winner. It's for the independence of our democracy. You know, it's funny. The party that worries about saying white people are the biggest threat to this country sure put a lot of white people on. Well, I guess not. Pocahontas is Indian. Oh, look at they put Beto O'Rourke on. Check that out. Let's see. $350,000 and counting. So amazing. Anything that you can give tonight to help us reach our goal is incredible. Let's see if he gave another update. We're almost at 500,000. 1 million came in today. So they raised $100 million. Or 1 million, 100 million. Probably it'll get there before this actually hits the ballot. And so we will be voting. We're going to be voting on this. And the way it's being sold, well, this is just temporary. This is to fight for democracy. Well, that's not really the truth. You're taking away the democratic process from me. You're saying that my voice don't matter. You're going to draw a map where a lot of Republicans probably won't even go out and vote. And I hope we can amp up our side to get out there. That's what this election, it's a special election. That's what this election will be about. And unfortunately, we're the state of mail-in ballots. If we were a state without mail-in ballots, believe it or not, even though we're a blue state, there is Democrats against this. I would say that we could defeat Yes on 50. We can defeat the election rigging. But again, it's going to backfire on him. And you're already seeing this in other states that are countering his measure. Yesterday, I just wanted to put something out there. And we're going to talk about it a little. After Charlie Kirk's death, we've seen, I think it was 54,000 applications from high schools and colleges to start a Turning Point chapter. Democrats are freaking out because we started owning the youth. 9-point swing in the last election. A lot of it thanks to people like Charlie Kirk and Turning Point. And so yesterday, Gavin Newsom started his, what was it considered? The Timu Turning Point. The Timu Turning Point. I want you to listen to this. The reason why we're playing this again, because it leads into the next.
Hey, I'm Gavin Newsom, and I'm here with Josh Friday, the head of Go Serve, California Volunteers. And we have a new, dare I say, ambitious goal in the state of California. Josh, what is it?
Today, we are calling on 10,000 young men to step up and serve. It is the California Men's Service Challenge, and we need you. That is what this guy is saying. That is what the state of California is saying. We need mentors, coaches, tutors, leaders in the community.
And where do they go? Where do you sign up?
We need everyone to sign up today at mensservicechallenge.com.
Hey, I'm Gavin Newsom, and I'm here with Josh Friday.
Again, this is a left-wing NGO organization style setup. And what they do, they'll get people to sign up. They're going to influence them. These people will be the foot soldiers for Gavin Newsom's 2028 campaign. And I want to play this now because I think it's disgusting in that same sentiment of trying to get the young men, because Democrats have had a problem with young men. They're men. They like women. And the Democrat Party doesn't like that. They've even made a very, very derogatory term calling them cisgender when they're just normal. Take a listen to this. He uses Charlie Kirk's name in this. And I thought, again, same thing Michael Fanone's doing. Take a listen.
It's true that my son, like many kids his age, were not only familiar with Charlie Kirk, They're familiar with Andrew Tate, familiar with people like Jordan Peterson, very familiar with what's happening online and podcasts and what some have referred to, in some cases pejoratively, others in terms of illuminating this manosphere. And I think it's important to understand that. Parents need to understand that. But obviously, Charlie Kirk was a master at not only the work he did online, but offline, and his capacity to organize and engage.
If I may, the question was just going to be like, if you could talk about how you're processing Charlie Kirk's death with your son, whether it's been.
Well, he called me, and I don't know whose phone he was using, but he called me from school. He heard about it. So, and he said, everybody, Dad's talking about it. And he wanted to know, is he alive? Is he alive? And so it was very impactful. I asked all these young men just a moment ago upstairs, said, how many of you heard of Charlie Kirk? Every single one of them. How were you processing? I asked them.
So he says his son got on someone else's phone and called them and said, Dad, is Charlie Kirk alive? A lot of Democrats only care about power and control. A lot of Republicans, not being biased here, a lot of Republicans only care about power and control. They look at the polling of their party and they go whichever way the wind blows. That's why we have a lot of craziness going on in our schools, in our locker rooms, and in our sports in majority blue states. They were losing that battle. They are losing that battle. And when you only care about power and control, and you've been the side that, oh, these people are Nazis, they're kidnapping people off the streets, you're just using talking points that people have said. This really resonates with your base. This will fire up your base. This will get them in the streets. This will get them burning down buildings. Start using this type of rhetoric. And they do. Totally opposite from what Charlie Kirk was doing. Charlie Kirk was saying, have a conversation with them, educate them. The Democrats put this out today, and I think it's kind of funny. Gavin Newsom started the Temu Turning Point yesterday. And this one's from the Democrats. We're organizing on college campuses across the country to make sure we win up and down the ballot this November and in 2026. Democrats launch nationwide college voter registration push. This is amazing that they have to do this. They've owned the college campuses. Their professors, the Marxists that they have teaching in the schools, have done all this for them for the longest time. And then they see this fact that 54,000 applications. Excuse me, I tell you, I woke up sick today. 54,000 applications between high school and college for Turning Point right now. It's going to be a lot of work for those people at Turning Point. I think they can do it. And but Democrats are worried. Think about that. Democrats launched nationwide college voter registration push. It won't work. It won't work. I mean, really, go look at the crowds at a Turning Point event. I mean, these people look like they can hold down a job. The supporters, not the people questioning that would question Charlie Kirk. Most of them look a little different. But to think about that for a minute. You're going to go on the college campus as Democrats. Are you going to have your booth with all the foreign flags? The communist flag of China, the Hamas flag. I mean, is that what's going to bring in? You're only going to get the radicals on the left. And I'm going to watch this backfire and laugh. Okay, we had some hearings on Capitol Hill. Former CDC director Susan Monterez, I think is how you say her last name, I just want to go through a couple videos. One of them's a little bit longer than the others, but she was called out. She was absolutely what we did not vote for when we voted for Donald Trump. We wanted my body, my choice when it comes to what I put in my body, right? Take a listen to this, what she did.
You can give us the details of that later. The second question, did you push political appointees out of your main office area, reassign the political appointees seating?
I brought some political appointees in. My
question is, did you move some out?
So there's a limited number of offices in my.
Did you, I guess a yes or no, did you move political appointees out of your main orbit?
And I brought other political appointees in.
Okay, you can give us the details of that later. Do you believe every child over the age of 6 months should have a COVID vaccine at least annually?
I believe that is a discussion that a parent needs to have with.
So we'll get more into that, but you can tell, I don't know how this person wiggled their way into confirmation. What a mistake that was. But she literally moved people out of her orbit, people that were put in there by the Trump administration. So she was on her way out the door. Take a listen to this one right here. I thought this was great. This is a short version, and then we'll have the long version of it.
In fact, there's been reduced. Does the COVID vaccine prevent transmission? Does the COVID vaccine prevent transmission?
The COVID vaccine can reduce viral load in individuals who are.
Does it prevent transmission?
When you have reduced viral load, you will have reduced transmission.
But in other words, it doesn't prevent transmission. You can still transmit the virus if you've had the vaccine. In fact, there's been reduced ability to interfere with transmission over time. And what we've found is the most recent one since Omicron is down around 16% reduction, if there is a reduction. Does the COVID vaccine reduce hospitalization for children under 18?
It can.
It doesn't. The statistics are inconclusive, and the reason you can't prove that it does is there's so few people under 18 that go to the hospital. The numbers are extraordinarily small. There's like 76 million kids under 18 in our country. 183 died, and a few thousand went to the hospital in 2020 and 2021. And since then, the numbers have dropped precipitously, and the idea and the issue needs to be discussed. But the COVID vaccine is not reducing hospitalization. It's not statistically significant. Does the COVID vaccine reduce the rate of death for children under 18?
It can.
Once again, it can. That's a ridiculous answer. No, it doesn't. And there is no statistical evidence that it does reduce the death rate. These are statistics. We've looked at it.
I'm so happy she's gone. You see her face, the arrogance, the smug. There's more. There's more. This one kind of got my blood up. That's how I was able to do the show. Yeah, she got fired. She out. She got booted. This one's a little longer. I want you to watch this.
The COVID vaccine can reduce viral load in individuals who are.
Does it prevent transmission? Dr. Menares, I agree with you completely that we need to restore trust in public health. But in order to do so, we have to have a discussion about the actual science, and we can't have a discussion of this, is about all vaccines are good, all vaccines are bad. This is about specific vaccines. It's about specific age groups. It's about specific policies. Does the COVID vaccine prevent transmission?
The COVID vaccine can reduce viral load in individuals who are.
Does it prevent transmission?
When you have reduced viral load, you will have reduced transmission.
But in other words, it doesn't prevent transmission. You can still transmit the virus if you've had the vaccine. In fact, there's been reduced ability to interfere with transmission over time. And what we've found is the most recent one since Omicron is down around 16% reduction, if there is a reduction. Does the COVID vaccine reduce hospitalization for children under 18?
It can.
It doesn't. The statistics are inconclusive, and the reason you can't prove that it does is there's so few people under 18 that go to the hospital. The numbers are extraordinarily small. There's like 76 million kids under 18 in our country. 183 died, and a few thousand went to the hospital in 2020 and 2021. And since then, the numbers have dropped precipitously, and the idea and the issue needs to be discussed. but the COVID vaccine is not reducing hospitalization. It's not statistically significant. Does the COVID vaccine reduce the rate of death for children under 18?
It can.
Once again, it can. That's a ridiculous answer. No, it doesn't. And there is no statistical evidence that it does reduce the death rate. These are statistics. We've looked at it. When they approved it, they had this discussion at the vaccine committee that we've been talking about. During the discussion, they acknowledged that there was no proof of reduction in hospitalization or in death. So what they did is they said, what can we use to try to make people take this vaccine? They came up with this. They said that if we give you a COVID vaccine, you make antibodies. So really the whole recommendation for having a COVID vaccine from 6 months up, it's not based on hospitalization data, not based on deaths. It's based on whether you make antibodies or not. And what people fail to see from this is I can inject you with a foreign protein every week and measure your antibodies. You'll make antibodies every time. It just means immunology work has nothing to do with whether you should get a vaccine every week. So when we're discussing the science here, we have to discuss what is the science in favor of giving a vaccine to a 6-month-old and what are the benefits from that. And there is no benefit of hospitalization or death. And then what would the risks of the vaccine be? We have large population studies of the risks of the vaccine in younger people. And it turns out that you don't see this as much if you look at the general population, but once you start isolating in by age group, which you have to do in COVID because there's such a disparity among age group, you find that there is a risk of myocarditis, a significant event. It's somewhere between 6 and 8 in 10,000. But that's much greater than the risk of hospitalization or death, which are not even measurable because they're so small. So you resisted firing people who have this idea that the COVID vaccine should be at 6 months. That's what this is about. You didn't resist firing the perfect, beautiful scientists that are career people and unobjective and unbiased. You wouldn't fire the people who are saying that we have to vaccinate our kids at 6 months of age. That's who you refuse to fire.
So that assertion is not commensurate with the experience that I had with the individuals who are identified to be fired.
Did any of the people you refused to fire, did any of the people you
refused to answer the question?
Did any of the people you refused to fire believe that we should change the vaccine schedule and no longer force 6-month-old kids to take it? Every one of them was adamant we should keep it at 6 months. Everybody's alarmed. We're going to change the childhood routine. Well, we should. There is no medical reason. What is the medical reason to give a hepatitis B vaccine to a newborn?
Watch this.
Whose mom has no hepatitis.
Watch this.
So none of the discussion points that you just brought up were ever.
That's changing the childhood schedule.
Do you allow her to answer the question?
Regular water. You have your time, Bernie. I got mine. Look, this is the debate over changing the childhood schedule. The hepatitis B vaccine on the schedule is given to newborns. What is the medical, scientific reason and proof for giving a newborn a hepatitis B vaccine if the mom is Hep B negative?
I want to go back to the assertion associated.
What is the medical reason
she can't answer?
Hepatitis B vaccine to a newborn. See, everybody's like blithely going along. We can't change the childhood. You're somehow terrible if you want to change the childhood. We should be discussing what is the childhood vaccine schedule, and the burden should be on you. You want to make all the kids take this? The burden is upon you and the people you wouldn't fire to prove to us that we need to give our 6-month-old a COVID vaccine and that we need to give our 1-day-old a hepatitis B vaccine. That's what the debate ought to be about, not whether all vaccines are good or whether we live in Alice in Wonderland.
I actually agree with you. And I was open to the science. I just would not pre-commit to approving all the ACIP recommendations without the science.
Untrue.
You know, you might dislike Rand Paul, but he has been the firecracker when it comes to COVID. When it came to what they were trying to force Americans to do with no evidence, when we were lied to, when we had the president of the United States on TV saying, if you get this, you cannot transmit it. When you had the CDC director saying that, he was the nutcase. He was the crazy man. Remember that? And then this woman right here, all he said is, he's asked about one vaccine. Why do we give this to a child that 1 day old? Just scientific data. She couldn't answer it because there is no reason. And I thought that was epic.
Or do I have to use my time?
close that one out. Was there another one here? I think there's one more from this hearing. Take a listen to this. Senator Marshall here.
The CDC is the cause of vaccine hesitancy, that you are the problem, that because of COVID and you're forcing these vaccines on people that weren't ever really proven or justified, that the benefits didn't outweigh the risk, and you all sat there with your hands in your pockets and you let that happen. And then you let this hepatitis vaccine be at 1 day of age, be forced upon everybody. And all of a sudden, the moms and the grandmas never trust you because you're trying to force a vaccine that's not necessary at day one. If you're going into nursing school, medical school, absolutely, you should consider that hepatitis vaccine. But basically, what the CDC does is act like a mandate, and you force doctors that don't agree with you to kick patients out of their clinics because they don't want their child to be exposed to a vaccine that was approved after just like 140 patients took it, being followed up for 5 days. It just makes no sense to me that every person needs every vaccine. But regardless, some of the vaccines have done incredible work. They are a miracle. They've done a great job. The basic vaccines that we got in the 60s and 70s, polio, MMR, DTaP, those seem to be great vaccines that have told the test of time. But your attitude here that every person needs every vaccine is completely contrary to Secretary Kennedy's philosophy and the mission of the president.
Can't agree more. Can't agree more. Yes, Nola, I did receive your Venmo last night. Thank you so much. You're also entered 2 times into our raffle. And speaking of that, guys, we are working on raising the funds to get to Phoenix. If everything works out right now, we have the hotel covered. We need to get the rental car now. If you guys want to help out, we would appreciate it. We're actually doing a raffle. Mike donated another beautiful cross, handmade custom cross right there. And same, little smaller than mine. Mine's the Big Daddy. Can't ship that very easily, but we can ship these. So we're doing a raffle right now. Every $10 donation gets you 1 entry into the raffle. If you do a $30 donation, that's 3 entries. $50, that's 5 entries. And we're trying to get the funds for the rental car, and then we're going to worry about food and gas and everything. Hopefully tomorrow we'll start fundraising on that. So if you guys want to help out, we would appreciate it. Again, our goal is to leave Friday, hang out at Turning Point USA headquarters for a day, and then on Sunday go to the funeral or the memorial service for Charlie Kirk. Again, there's no guarantees that while we're there we can be live, but we will record, upload all the video, get interviews, do what we usually do. And of course, anytime we can be live, we will be live. I'm pretty sure that after we are done there, most people are going to go head over to the headquarters, the Turning Point, to memorialize there. We will be there. And if we can, we're going to bring you a lot of coverage over the weekend. So if you guys want to help out, we would appreciate it. We are 100% viewer funded. Everything you see is made possible by the great viewers we have. You can donate at Venmo at Oreo Josh, Cash App, $ Oreo Army. We also have givesendgo.com/Oreo 2024. 2 of them are right down there. There's the Venmo, there's the Give Send Go. And then if you do mobile or online banking, which is the quickest way to do it for us and gets to us the fastest, you can, you can go to our website, theoreoexpress.com. There is a donate now button on our homepage. If you click that, our Zelle link will be there. And once again, thank you to everybody who's supported us over the years and everybody who's supporting us to get to Arizona. It's going to be about a 9-hour drive. We'll do some live chats. Right now, I have the reservation to pick up the car at 9 a.m. on Friday. That means I'd get home probably about 9:30, load up the car, and probably get out of here at 10:30 and be hitting the road. So as long as we can get the funding for the rental car, and then, like I say, we'll worry about gas tomorrow, but hopefully we can get those funds today. I want to say thank you to everybody who has helped out. We got Corndog55 says, thanks, Josh. Thank you, Corndog55. And you were entered 2 times for the raffle. And we want to just say, again, we appreciate you. God bless the Oreo Army and all you folks. So I want to play this video here now. This was the congressional. Yesterday was the Senate with Kash Patel. Today is Congress. And we're going to start it out. It was great to see Rep. Jim Jordan call out Adam Schiff. I want you to listen to this in this testimony here.
We will begin with opening statements. 5 weeks ago, because of the work of Director Patel, we learned that the former chair of the House Intelligence Committee and current United States Senator leaked classified information. We learned this because a whistleblower came forward. Whistleblower with 23 years experience in the intelligence community, a Democrat staffer on the committee, said this: they were pressured to leak classified information, which sort of raises the obvious question. Why would the head of the intelligence committee, the chair of that committee, who's supposed to be guarding our secrets, why would he be encouraging the leaking of classified information? Whistleblower told us that answer as well. The leaked information was supposed to be used. The leaked information, false information, was going to be used to indict President Trump. Now, the former chairman wasn't the only person leaking information. Jim Comey was also sharing things he wasn't supposed to share. Again, don't take my word for it. The Inspector General told us this. In his report, he said, quote, James Comey violated FBI policy by disclosing classified information. And what was Comey's motive? Same as the senator from California, to sabotage and undermine President Trump's first term. And we know that Mr. Comey's not been shy about what his objective was. In fact, 4 months ago, he told us. Remember this?
8647.
Jim Comey told us just 4 months ago. Now, how'd they do it? How did the former chair of the intel community, the former FBI director, and others in our government attempt to undermine President Trump's first term? 7 weeks ago, because of the good work of the Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, we learned from another whistleblower, a second whistleblower, that in the closing days of the Obama administration, the intelligence community assessment was changed. On December 5th, 2016, they had one assessment. That assessment said Russia did not impact the election vote count. There was a meeting at the White House on December 9th, 2016, where it was decided, no, we're not going to have that. We're going to come up with a new one. And the new one said Russia was trying to influence election and did influence election, which just wasn't accurate. And that new one is published on January 6, 2017. Let's just show you a few things that took place. I want to show you first this email from Admiral Rogers, the head of the NSA. You can see it was December 22nd. Says to Jim, John, and Jim Clapper, John Brennan, Jim Comey. And he says, I asked my team if they've had sufficient access to the underlying intelligence, sufficient time to review that intelligence. On both points, my team raised concern. Further states, my folks aren't fully comfortable. A few hours later, there's an email back to Admiral Rogers. This one is from Jim Clapper, and it says this: it is essential that we be on the same page and all of us are supportive of the report in the highest tradition of, that's our story and we're sticking to it. We may have to compromise on our normal modalities. This is one project that has to be a team sport. That's our story, and we're sticking to it. Compromise on normal modalities, that's a fancy way of saying, that's the government speak for we're going to have to change the rules. In fact, we're not going to follow our own rules. And that's exactly what they did to get the objective they wanted, to undermine President Trump. Now, how did it specifically take place? The whistleblower said that the government officials ignored concerns about discredited information. And what was that discredited information? What was the discredited information that they didn't ignore the concerns about? What did they use, that discredited information? Of course, it was the dossier, the now famous Steele dossier that was paid for by the Clinton campaign when they hired the law firm Perkins Coie, who hired Fusion GPS, who hired the foreigner Christopher Steele, who wrote all this garbage and lies down, is what was used to change the intelligence community report. And what happens next? What do Jim, John, and Jim do next? They go to Trump Tower on January 6, 2017, to brief then President-elect Trump about the dossier. Again, the Clinton-financed, foreign-authored dossier that the whistleblower knows is garbage and that they know is garbage. And then there's one final step. One final step. Jim Comey leaves that meeting with the president and immediately leaks to the press that they briefed the president on the discredited information. They briefed the president on the dossier and thereby giving it some credibility and creating the basis and the predicate for all they did to the president. They leaked false information. They leaked classified information. They used and leaked discredited information, and they didn't follow their own rules.
So as you can see, that's how it kicked off. And then there was some pretty epic exchanges when he started questioning Kash Patel. I just loved the beginning of this because think about it. We covered it time and time again. We were at school board meetings throughout the last, well, we've been there for 12 years. We've been going to school board meetings, 2025. Yeah, about that, 11 years. And then we learned that the FBI was targeting parents at school board meetings, targeting people in churches. I mean, we learned that our whole system that was meant to protect us was actively going after us, not because we were breaking the law, but because, again, they were going after Christian conservatives. And listen to what he says here. Take a listen.
Director, yes or no, is the FBI still spying on parents at school board meetings?
No, sir.
Is the FBI still targeting Catholics?
No, sir.
Is the FBI still spying on President Trump?
I don't believe so.
Is the FBI still censoring Americans?
No, sir.
Is the FBI still targeting Americans for shopping at Cabela's or purchasing Bibles?
Nobody is targeted for their faith.
Is the FBI still targeting Americans who are pro-life?
Nobody is targeting anyone for their beliefs.
Is the FBI still cooking the books on crime data?
The crime data is real.
Is the FBI still purging agents for conservative viewpoints?
No one at the FBI has asked their viewpoints on policy.
Is the FBI still labeling the Betsy Ross flag, the flag of the American Revolution, a hate symbol?
No.
Well, maybe that's why you've been able to, what was the number? 23,000 bad guys you've arrested, a huge increase from the same time period in the previous administration. I think you said 1,400 predators, 4,000 children rescued. Were those the facts?
4,700, 35% increase on children rescued.
Yeah. And you got the guy to Abbey Gate.
We got the Abbey Gate guy.
We had a guy from the 4th District of Ohio who lost his life there serving our country. We appreciate that. Maybe when you're not focused on politics, you can actually do what the FBI is supposed to do. Go get the bad guys.
Go get the bad guys. That's right. Go get the bad guys. And then we also had this one here.
Politicizing the
Jerry Nadler, No Nads Nadler, who has announced that he isn't rerunning again, that he will be retiring. Calls Charlie Kirk Charlie King. Now, probably because he's a larger than life and larger civil rights leader than the original King. But listen to this.
Politicizing the murder of Charlie King to go after free speech is not a legacy I believe Charlie King would have wanted. Moving on, I want to politicizing the murder of Charlie King to go.
Oh my God, these people are so out of touch with reality. So out of touch. So out of touch. There was also another great
terrorism work.
We covered this. We had a little details on this a few weeks back. It might have been longer than that. The 764 network, and listen to Kash Patel right here discuss that. This is epic.
Cyber attacks and foreign adversaries, counterterrorism work, cyber attacks and foreign adversaries are something the FBI must never sleep on, and we are not sleeping. In the counterintelligence space alone, this year to date, 30% increase in counterintelligence arrests from the DPRK, Russia, Iran, and China. And I want the American people to know, in this setting, there's a lot of work that the brave men and women in the FBI are doing we just can't get into, but they don't stop. Our cyber threats, ransomware attacks, those harming our children online. We have nearly a 20% increase in indictments arrests in 7 months alone this year. We're going after those that harm our malware, infrastructure systems, telecom systems, and energy structure. Combating SALT and Vault typhoons are just a little bit of the examples we're doing. Maybe most importantly, under the counterterrorism and domestic terrorism umbrella, are nihilist, violent extremists, and those that label themselves 764, who wish to go online and convince children to maim and mutilate themselves and commit suicide. And we are producing record numbers of arrests under that umbrella organization. We even stopped an individual in the 764 network who wanted to conspire to kill an adolescent girl. He is now in custody. Transparency remains one of my main priorities at the FBI. And this is what I've done in my 7 months at the helm. We've produced more than 33,000 pages of documents to Congress to a variety of committees, including, I believe, 7,500 to this committee alone, if memory serves me correct. To put the 33,000 in perspective, my predecessor in 7 years produced 13,000 pages in total to the United States Congress. His predecessor in 4 years produced 3,000 pages in total. I repeat, I have produced 33,000 pages in 7 years to this Congress and will continue to do so. I'm dedicated to restoring the trust and the mission and the integrity of the FBI, and we cannot do so without congressional oversight, and I promise you I will continue to do so.
That was epic. And then, I thought this was interesting. Kash Patel confirmed that CIA Director John Brennan lied to Congress. And we have that video here. Take a listen.
The gentlelady from California.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Director, did John Brennan lie to Congress? Let me just read a couple things actually before you answer that. 2 years ago, we had Mr. Brennan in for an interview, and I asked him, how'd you learn about the dossier in December of 2016? Mr. Brennan replied, I received a copy of it from the FBI, and the CIA was very much opposed to having any reference or inclusion of the Steele dossier in the intelligence community assessment. That's what John Brennan told the United States Congress. 7 weeks ago, the Director of National Intelligence told us this. John Brennan lied and denied using the dossier in the intelligence community assessment because he knew it was discredited. CIA officer told the House Intelligence Committee Brennan refused to remove it, and when confronted with the dossier's main flaws, he responded, yes, but doesn't it ring true? John Brennan lied to us?
Mr. Chairman, I won't stylize the evidence. What I will say is that the intelligence community assessment, those that created it and any individual involved with it, is an ongoing investigation.
There's an investigation into what took place in December and January of December 2016, January 2017, when this whole thing started, this grand conspiracy. That is being investigated. Is that right?
That has been publicly announced by the department.
That's been announced by the department. Did Chris Wray hide documents from this committee?
You would know better than me, sir.
Well, I think you told us like 700 pieces of information you've given this committee since you've been director relative to just one incident, the Catholic memorandum from the Richmond field office.
I can give you the comparison, sir. Yeah. The Catholic memo, I believe we turned over 750 documents. In Mr. Ray's tenure, I believe they turned over 19 pages.
19 pages. You've given us 700. Why would Chris Wray hide information from this committee? You want to hazard a guess?
Sorry?
Hazard a guess why he would do that?
I don't know, sir.
I think maybe it was because FBI was spying on a priest, trying to get him to break the priest penitent confidence that exists. You think maybe that was the reason?
You'd have to ask him, sir.
Yeah, we'd love to do that. I want to read a few names here. RDK's Tropic Vortex, Riding Hood, Foggy Falls, Echoes Fate, Sirens Lure, Genetic Christmas. What are these code names about, Director? You know?
Not off the top of my head.
Well, RDK's Tropic Vortex. My understanding these are code names for leak investigations of classified information from the year 2017. Does that ring a bell?
In terms of leak investigations, many of those are classified and many of those are ongoing, Mr. Chairman. But we are working with you to produce documents as we close those investigations or as we declassify them?
Let me ask you this question, because this is something I've wondered about, the way the FBI used to work. This whole thing kind of, so many of these things unfolded. Seems to me you had all these people in government leaking information that then gets reported in the press. There's a story written about it. And then that article is then used to further the investigation and move forward with what they want to do. Did that take place back in 16 and 17?
That's the exact scenario that took place in the FISA application for Carter Page and the rest of the Trump campaign.
And that is frightening, because that's what the CIA is supposed to do in foreign countries. It's not supposed to happen to Americans. But it did, didn't it, Director?
Yes.
And not just any Americans, it happened with the President of the United States. Is that accurate?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and you were the key guy in helping expose.
Absolutely amazing what we've seen. And of course, you had the typical leftist just screaming Epstein, 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 trying to, again, go back. They don't want to talk about the American citizens whose rights were violated under Democrat control. They don't want to talk about the weaponization of everything from the Department of Justice, Homeland Security, FBI, CIA under the Biden regime. They didn't want, we need distractions. So Eric Swallowswell was trying to do that, and Kash Patel just went off on him. I want you to listen to this. This was, I was watching this live. It was epic.
Anyone that has been terminated at the FBI has been done so
the
because
question
they failed
again,
to meet the muster and
Director,
the constitutional
I will
obligation.
work on the audio-visual capabilities.
I'm going to borrow your terminology and call bullshit on your entire career in Congress.
Reclaiming my
It
time,
has been
Director.
a disgrace to the American
Director, I'm
people.
reclaiming my
You
time.
can reclaim your time all you want.
Mr. Chairman, you're going to allow a witness to speak this way?
Mr. Chairman, would you give
accuse yourself?
The gentleman has no time.
Mr. Chairman, would you admonish the witness not to insult members?
The gentleman has no time.
Mr. Chairman, just
committee will remember.
Quick point of order. Could the gentleman be extended an additional 20 seconds to complete his thoughts?
Why don't you try serving your constituency by focusing on reducing violent crime in this country and the number of pedophiles that are legally harbored in your sanctuary cities in California? I'll work with you on that.
Regular order, Mr. Chairman.
Director.
Oh man, God bless Kash on that one. God bless Kash on that one. That was absolutely epic. Eric Swallowswell, who does preside over a sanctuary policies, who harbors pedophiles, child rapists, and everything else. It's funny. These people have no room to talk. Rep. James Comer came out today with this. Yesterday, we showed you Destiny, who is one of the far left streamers, gets a lot of views, pretty large online platform, literally calls for violence against conservatives, saying there hasn't been enough violence against us because we still are going to events. They don't want us in public. They don't like the grassroots movement. Everything they do is a photo op. So when we go out and we're recorded in the numbers that we are supporting Trump and conservative policies, they don't like that. And so he says, breaking. I am calling on the CEO of Discord, which is the one that was used in the discussion between the alleged assassin, Steam, Twitch, and Reddit to testify in an oversight committee hearing on October 8th. The hearing will examine the radicalization of online forum users, including instances of open incitement to commit politically motivated attacks. That will be interesting. That will be one. If we are here, we are going to try to live stream live, because I think that's really big for all of us being part of the online community. I don't do Discord anymore. I did that and it became a headache. But I know that some people in my group have been banned from Discord from being Trump supporters. It was amazing. And so he also says the politically motivated assassination of Charlie Kirk claimed the life of a husband, father, and American patriot. In the wake of this tragedy and amid other acts of politically motivated violence, Congress has a duty to oversee the online platforms that radicals have used to encourage and incite. So, and I want to give a big shout out, old Uncle Bill. Thank you so much for the Zelle, and Roxanne. Thank you so much for the Zelle, guys. We appreciate you. Thank you for getting us to the Charlie Kirk Memorial and always supporting, keeping the lights on. So they had a congressional vigil for Charlie Kirk, and of course, you know, Democrats. Listen to this.
For Charlie Kirk, we counted only a handful of Democrats being there. There was a vigil last night for Charlie Kirk. We counted only a handful of Democrats being there. Is there a reason for that?
I don't know. I guess you'd have to talk to individual Democrats as to what else was going on and why they were present and why they weren't present.
What about you?
I had a meeting. Thanks.
I had a meeting. Look at that face. I thought this was a party that wanted to bring unity together. Yeah, right. So we did cover this at the beginning of the story, but a suspicious bag was reported outside of Turning Point USA headquarters. Pixie told us in the chat they gave an all clear. Take a look at this. This was some video that was uploaded online. Looks like they had the bomb squad out there.
Right now, there was a bomb robot that was doing an initial inspection of the bag. I'm going to scoot over here. Suspicious bag left outside the Turning Point USA campus. Right there. Just down the sidewalk. It looks like he is now taking a look. Not sure what he found, but that's it. We'll see what comes out of this. So that is a bomb tech.
So all clear. And remember, they got to be extra cautious. Last week, you had those two anti-Trumpers who placed an explosive under a vehicle. Fortunately for the residents and the people in the surrounding areas, that it did not go off. The fuse didn't stay lit or something of that nature. So that is great to see. And once again, guys, Turning Point USA officially announced the speaker lineup for Charlie Kirk's memorial this coming Sunday. We will be there. That's what we're raising funds for. That's why we have the raffle going on. President Trump, J.D. Vance, Tulsi Gabbard, RFK Jr., Erica Kirk, Pete Hegseth, Stephen Miller, Tucker Carlson, and they're still adding to that lineup. Just absolutely epic. We will see you there if you guys are going to make it. I know some of our viewers do plan on heading over there that are on the West Coast. And man, again, I've always said that. I've said this in the live stream a lot, but I used to say it to Rachel before I even did this. And I used to say, man, I was born in the wrong generation. You know, I'm a guy that should have been around for the civil rights era, you know, and all this, because I mean, in my time, we had Desert Storm, we had 9/11. Those are pretty big things in the United States, probably 9/11 being the most. But when you look at what we're going through now, we got to, you know, from the last couple years, the weaponized DOJ, the things that we've seen, the open borders, all the stuff we got to cover. We are in the most trying time in this country's history. We really are. And it's absolutely insane. So one more time, we are doing a raffle, guys, to help fundraise for the trip. We have the hotel. We need the rental car now. So if you guys want to help out, we would appreciate you. We have this cross that Big Mike Miguelito made us. That will be one of the raffle items. We will do the raffle either tomorrow night or Friday morning. I got to figure out. I got to see when I start packing and everything, but I'll figure all that out. If you guys want to enter and help us out, the best way you can do it, we have three of the best ways are Venmo at Oreo Josh, Cash App, $, Oreo Army. We also have givesendgo.com Oreo 2024. That is our Give, Sing, Go. And then we have also on top of that, if you do mobile or online banking and you just want to do a transfer from your phone or your computer, our Zelle address is on our website and it's going to come up right now at the end. It'll be on the bottom of our outro. And so you can use that Zelle address and send us a transfer. If you do it right now and I don't give you a shout out before we go, I will do it in our next show. We will have another show in about 3.5 hours, 3 o'clock East, 3 o'clock Pacific, 6 o'clock Eastern will be our next show. And then do not forget, because the next show won't be on all the platforms. We will be tonight at a vigil at Fresno State with Turning Point USA. So make sure you turn in. That'll be 7 o'clock Pacific time. So we got a lot. We got a busy day, guys. So I want to say thank you to everybody who tunes in. Everybody, we appreciate you more than you know. We can't do this without you. And you guys have a good day. All the donation links are going to come up right now, and we will see you soon.
The Oreo Express, where truth don't hide and we don't second guess. Unapologetic, we're bold and we're loud, shining light on the left shady crowd. Oreo Express, rolling down the track, exposing the lies, ain't no turning back. Conservative fire, we're speaking the truth. At Oreo Express, this one's for you. So grab your boots, let's take a stand for freedom, faith, and the heart of this land. Oreo Express, let's roll, let's go. So grab your boots, let's take a stand for freedom, faith, and the heart of this land.